Government of India is very keen to control the undue imports, what we call, from neighboring countries such as China, so that we strengthen the domestic industry. And for the same, we have seen major advancements over the past couple of years, largely after the pandemic, since the beginning of the pandemic. Now, if we look into the kind of barriers setting what we do when imports are happening, it is either tariff barriers wherein we raise the tax, import duty, and the other one is the non-tariff barriers wherein a country leverages the other means such as quality of the product or respecting the rights of the low cost human involvement in those products and restricting on that basis. Countervailing duty and others are there, and one is quality control orders as well. So recently we have seen how India Ministry of Commerce have come up with nearly around 20 quality control orders as a non-tariff barrier, we can call it, categorize it, wherein the country is restricting imports from China over major sectors, largely non-essential sectors. But for example, a success case is toy sector. Now the toy industry, which was largely dominated by the imports from China, now we have reduced those imports by a huge number over the past 2-3 years. Nearly 70% reduction is as per reports, and in imports. And domestic manufacturing is getting space, and our toy industry is growing in India. Similarly, for other sectors as well, recently quality control orders QCOs have come up for ceiling fans, the fan in our home, and that market is also dominated largely by the imports from China. And here again, with the quality control orders, an attempt is being made to curb that import and grow the domestic manufacturing. Here, one thing we need to see when we talk about the quality control, then the domestic manufacturers also need to adhere to those qualities. And so there also space for improvement within the domestic is there. You get the market and you need to improve as per the required quality. Other sectors are steel and iron, chemicals, fertilizers, domestic gas stove, and others. So these are largely in the non-essential category, wherein there are these attempts to strengthen the domestic manufacturing capacity, which is labor intensive and helping the Indian economy over the long term. If you look into the trade deficit between India and China, just to get a sense, then over this last couple of quarters in this fiscal year, nearly $50-55 billion have been imported from China to India, and we have exported near about $7 to $8 billion. So we see a huge gap, very skewed in terms of very high import, very low export to that country. So it's nowhere balanced or barter happening, and we need to be careful on our dependency on China, wherein we acknowledge that the world is looking for China plus one strategy, and we are the plus one in race, trying to be that plus one for all the companies. So it is of key importance that we ourselves also provide the domestic manufacturers and service providers that plus one opportunity. Thank you.